Just born and raised, it's plain to see. This is how we roll UP. I got stories, let me tell it. Bow and arrow and a dope ass mullet. Take one shot, that's all it took, son. When I fish, it takes one hook, son. Hunt big game, just take one look, son. Now I killed it, about to cook, son.
Alright, welcome back to episode 10 of the You Gotta Want It podcast. Today is November 24th, and I am still the Buckless Youper. If there's any background noise, it's just started pouring rain out, so if you hear anything, that's probably that. But I did not find the elusive Menominee County whitetail buck this past weekend. Like I said, I was hunting Thursday and Friday, and then decided to head home Saturday. But Saturday morning might have been a good day to hunt. It was about 14 degrees up at camp, but decided with the little bit of deer I saw Thursday and Friday, I just said to decide not to go out. I think I saw more pop-up lines than bucks on public this weekend, and it's not like they're really doing a good job hiding them either. I mean, it's you park in a spot and you walk 30 yards and there's a pop-up line staring at you, but it's just pretty disappointing what the public land's been becoming really. And yeah, I sat Thursday morning and saw 2 spikes, and then I went to a public spot. Was just gonna go sit on a stump or against a tree or something Thursday afternoon, and parked into a spot that was clear cut, and walked in about 100 yards or so, and it was kind of strange. It looked like it was a beat down path, but I wasn't seeing any human sign yet, and then got to a little bit of an opening in the clear cut, like a steep far, and right in the middle of the clear cut a pop-up line. So turned around and went to spot number 2. There's a truck parked there. Went to spot 3. It was kind of a steep ridge, and then it looks down into some marshy, kind of a clear cut, I guess you would say. And parked there, loaded up the gun, and walked around the ridge, 30 yards, pop-up line right there. So that was spot 3. Spot 4 I went to, it's a spot that I sat about 5 years ago, and figured there'd be a lot of pressure around it, but lo and behold, I was the only one there. And it's just a big oak system with some oak ridges that actually look pretty good. I'm surprised that the forestry didn't clear cut that yet, but it was a good looking spot. And so I decided to hike in there a couple hundred yards. I think I went about a quarter mile, sat on a nice stump and looked into some clear cut and some ridge systems, and then ended up seeing 2 small does that night and nothing else. Friday morning, I decided to head back in there and see if I could catch anything crossing that ridge system, or just get eyes on something, and I got skunked that morning. But it was a beautiful morning, mid-20s, high 20s, and then it was going to warm up in the day in the mid-40s, so walked around a little bit, made sure there was no one deeper into the public there, and decided I'd head back there in the afternoon and give that a shot, overlooking the next ridge over to the west. And so about 12:30, quarter to 1, I headed back out to that spot and got about 650 yards off the gravel road. But of course there was a 2-track that went right through it, and looked like there was some pretty beat down path. The public lands around here would definitely be better if there wasn't a 2-track every 100 yards. Make it a lot harder for people to get access if they would have to walk a lot farther in. And I think that would help out the deer movement a lot better than having people drive right up to their spots and then park. But anyway, yeah, Friday I walked in about 650 yards and sat up on a top of a big ridge looking down into a funnel, and had swamp out to the north of me, and then it filtered into that funnel pretty good. Looked like a good spot. A lot of leftover acorns actually, and a lot of kicked up leaves and stuff from deer and turkeys, and it just seemed like a good spot, I thought, to at least get eyes on something. I mean, I could see 300-400 yards through that hardwoods to the left, and could catch anything coming through that funnel if they were going to move. But sat there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, didn't see a hair. Didn't even hear one walking, didn't even spook anything on the way out, and pretty disappointing with what the public land is there. Looks like a great spot. You got it could be overpressured from the first week, but you'd still think you'd see something walking through there, at least something small, or a couple fawns or something, but just skunked. So you got 2 tracks everywhere that go off the main road, and then you got pop-up lines scattered out everywhere, not really even deep into the woods. People are really not even putting in the effort to get off the road that much. And then you got, seems like at every turn there's a new clear cut, or a couple-year-old clear cut that's just a total mess that a mouse or a rabbit couldn't even get through. And it just seems like the public land is just becoming a bunch of crap. Maybe not all the public land around here, but just that piece in general is just becoming worse and worse every year. It's just getting more clear cut. Nothing good growing up. You get some popples for the first couple years that help the deer out, but other than that, it's just a tangled mess. Like I said, a rabbit couldn't even jump through this stuff that they leave a mess, and it's really just gonna end up causing tons of crowding for other hunters when they keep clear cutting these spots. People's hunting spots are gonna get lost, and that's gonna cause overcrowding and some pissed off hunters. And I think we're already seeing that with how much they're clear cutting back at this public piece. They clear cut the nice oaks, and then they don't replant anything, and they cut cedar swamps. But mostly I'm seeing is they're cutting hardwoods, and they're not growing back to anything that they cut down. So you get these little popple slashings, and they grow up in a couple years, and you can't walk through it, you can't see through it. Yeah, it's good for browse for the deer, but the winter's really been bad lately that they really need that browse. I'd rather have them have the acorns throughout the winter, or cedars or what have you. But that's just what's going on our public lands. I'm just coming out here and telling you guys what I've been seeing out there the past couple of years, and what it's looking like for the guys hunting. I mean, you drive past these camps the second week, and the gates are up. No one's at camp anymore. I think people are just really sick of the hunting around there. You don't see anything. There's overcrowding with people. It's just I don't think it's fun for these people anymore that come up a couple hours or come from Wisconsin. They'd rather stay home or just hunt a couple days and then head home. It's not worth the headache of trying to deal with all the public land hunters and deal with. It'd be all right if there was some deer to be seen for everyone, but there's just the deer numbers are not there right now. And here's a prime example of why the deer numbers are down. You got a small piece of public down the road from family camp where we grew up rifle hunting, and still do. And you got a Illinois camp back there that they come up and they shoot two does, a spike, a fork, and a yearling. And we wonder why we're not seeing any deer or any decent bucks in that area, of course. And you tack on the 5 wolves that people are seeing back there. It's just not a good formula for public land and hunting in general, and to keep people in hunting around there. You got guys coming hours away, coming up and shooting those kind of deer. Like, what's the point of that? I get you can shoot what you want, but at what point does you're a grown adult, you're shooting spikes and forks? I mean, I can see kids shooting them first couple of years, but at what point do you want to spend all that money and come all this way and shoot something like that? I mean, you can probably just stay home in Illinois and shoot something, but so you add all that up, and it's not a good formula for some happy hunters around that area. So yeah, that's another problem going on around here. It looked like on Facebook that the UP numbers were actually up again this year. I think the last time I checked, it was in the 15,000s for the rifle season harvest, which is up from last year. Still down from 5-10 years ago, but I don't know how much you can trust those numbers, but it depends on how many does are being shot and what have you. But all in all, I think the deer hunting has been pretty bad this year. There are obviously pockets every year of good hunting, whether that's private land or chunks of public, but you hear the talking going on around town or on Facebook or at the bars up north at camp, or just people in general, and people at work, and they're just not seeing deer this year again. And if they're seeing deer, it's small bucks, low numbers definitely. Like I said, there's obviously always going to be pockets of good hunting anywhere you go, and you get those people that have good hunting every year in the UP, but it's very few and far between. I'd say you get 5-10% of the guys that have great hunting every year, but you throw in the wolves that we have a problem with up in the Menominee County, you throw in the cougar sightings that's been going on up there, and it's just not a good formula for good hunting. It's been pretty rough. It's been a pretty rough go this past year, it seems like, for a lot of people. So seems like it's been a rough season for a lot of people here in the UP, but we'll keep an eye on those numbers and see what the numbers end up coming out to at the end of the season. We still got 5 or 6 days left in the season. I'm sure a lot of people will be taking does as we wind down towards the end, but there's still a chance to get a nice buck. Adam's dad got a nice 10-pointer tonight, so shout out to him. Camp Nolde had a really good season this year. They got 2 8s, a 7, and a 10 during November, so we had a great year there. Like I said, it's pockets of good hunting, and they had good hunting in November. They had the does, and they got the bucks to show up. So looking ahead, I don't think I'm gonna hunt anymore this rifle season. I'm gonna head up to Camp Jev this weekend and prepare for muzzleloading. Muzzleloading opens up next Friday, the 5th of December, and it looks like it's gonna be a really cold one this year. So deer should be moving, and deer should be on their feet feeding. We're supposed to get a chance of snow tomorrow into Wednesday, and then it's supposed to get brutal cold for the next like 10 days, and then a chance of snow a couple times earlier next week. So if we got snow, we're gonna have deer on their feet moving, especially with this cold weather. So we're grinding out some sits. Hopefully some shooters show back up. It's been sporadic here the last 5-10 days with shooters, but I know they're still going to be around. They'll come back here once they slow down the rut here, and hopefully we get them on camera again and we can make a move on them. But we're going to have a handful of guys muzzleloading up there, and we'll see if we can't get some bucks on the ground. Definitely be probably trying to shoot some does too, fill the freezer a little bit, and so I'll head up there this weekend, get some cameras reset, get some bait out, and get prepared for the muzzleloading season. Because if you got the food this time of the year coming up, especially with this cold muzzleloading season that it looks like it's going to be, you'll definitely have deer coming into your spots. So food is key this time of the year coming up. So if you got food plots or you got bait piles, definitely lock into those coming up here. There's always a little chance for a second rut, of course, if does in your area didn't get bred the first time, but that cycle should be coming up here. Actually, probably around opening day muzzleloading, you'll get those that second rut, that those does didn't go into estrus the first time, or should I say they didn't get bred. Scrapes might be coming active again in this next couple days, as bucks will start heading back to their core areas and looking to find one last doe if they can, and definitely be hitting those scrapes again. So if you got food sources or scrapes and you got cameras out, keep an eye on those, as I think they'll start lighting up again with bucks in the next couple days. We got that cold weather coming in. Like I said, it's going to be key. These bucks got to start eating again, so they can get replenished before the hard winter hits. But hopefully we get some snow for muzzleloading. I mean, years past where we get up to a foot and a half of snow, the deer moving is just crazy. These deer have to be on their feet. They're not too worried about coming out in the open when it's this cold and there's snow on the ground. They gotta put the feed bags on no matter what. So as long as you're not bumping them a lot, they'll continue to come out to the food sources. So don't worry about getting super deep if you don't have to on your piece or in public. But if you gotta go deep, like if you're in public and it's pressured, then go deep. But if you're on private and you got a good food source, there's no reason to push in too deep. Especially they got to come out and eat. So it's just a matter of time when you catch a buck on its feet coming out to a food source early. So definitely be keen in on that. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's back on camera this next 10 days, and hopefully we get some bucks on camera and someone can get knock a buck down this muzzleloading season. It's been about 3 or 4 years since we got a buck down muzzleloading. So excited about muzzleloading. It's always a good time to head up to camp, get one last weekend with the guys before close up the camps, and yeah, just enjoy it, because it seems like every year it goes by faster. This year flew by again, and by the time you know it, we'll be heading into turkey season. But we'll focus on deer for a couple more weeks at least, and yeah, so I won't be hunting until muzzleloading. Probably shoot the muzzleloader this weekend actually, and make sure that's still sighted in, get her cleaned, and get her ready for opening day. But yeah, I'll be off opening day of muzzle, and probably hunt Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll see where we're at after that. One thing I forgot to throw in one more thing before I wrap up here. The water hole that I put in let me rephrase that. The water hole Brian and I put in August was finally lighting up pretty good these past 10 days. It's probably been frozen for a couple days, but there's plenty of deer that were checking it out, and actually throughout the day, actually you get 11 or 12 o'clock picture of a spike or a fork or a doe or something, but pretty cool to see that they're using it, and it just took a while. Maybe there's enough water around the property that they didn't really need to focus in on that one specific water hole, but yeah, pretty cool to see. So water hole is definitely a good option for you to attract deer if you're looking for another attraction on your property. So good luck to anyone that's still grinding out rifle season, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm going to post this Thanksgiving morning for a little Thanksgiving special, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back, probably be back next week, but I don't know if I'll have anything major to talk about next week, but I'll definitely come back for after opening week at a muzzle and give an update on that. So thanks for listening to today's episode of the You Gotta Want It podcast, and we'll talk to you guys soon.